All right, everybody, welcome back to Conquer and Commander. Right now, I'm going to be taking a look at the Mind Seas pre-constructed Commander 2013 deck. Blah. Sorry about that. Cat's got my tongue. For more on my thoughts on the deck list, go to puremtgo.com. Look at my article series, Conquer and Commander. You should see my article about it there. I'll also have a link in the video description as well. So I played a bunch of games with this deck, and really, and people that have picked this deck up know this already probably. The deck is really two decks in one. It's a Jeleva deck, because Jeleva obviously is looking for big fat sorceries to cast. But it's also a Nekusar deck. It's half Nekusar, half Jeleva. And the problem with that, and the Nekusar deck wants to make people draw cards and hurt them for drawing. The problem with making it a Nekusar deck and a Jeleva deck is that two halves don't make one good deck. Like out of the box, this deck is kind of crap. It doesn't commit enough to one theme or another. Jeleva by herself pisses people off. Nekusar by himself especially pisses people off. And so you need more defense, and the deck just doesn't have enough defense. Let's take a look at the stats real quick here before I start messing around with the deck itself. The average CMC is 3.81, which isn't bad. There's a decent curve right here. It obviously tops out threes, and there's some big fat spells and stuff like that. So by itself, there's also it looks like 40 lands in the deck. So by itself, it's not like the curve isn't bad. The way that it's split up and everything isn't bad, but you can't have two opposing themes trying to go at it. So typically when I do these, I just go through and I'm like, this is what I would do to improve the deck. I'd yank out all these cards and then I'd add these cards. Really what it is when you pick up this deck, if you get a hold of it, I realize that it's supposedly difficult to get a hold of in paper in the real world. But when you pick this deck up, number one, you're going to immediately sell off your True Name Nemesis. I've already sold mine. That's why it's red right here. Because it doesn't benefit either of these two decks. So just get rid of it unless you're like a legacy player or something. And then you either decide, am I going to make it a Jeleva deck or am I going to make it a Nekusar deck? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about which cards go in which pile, and then which cards go in both piles, and go from there. Now, Molten Disaster, the problem, this does not belong in a Jeleva deck. Any X spell does not belong in the Jeleva deck. Nekusar, all the creatures are going to be coming after you, so you're going to want to use that for creature control. Prosperity, each player draws X cards, that's another Nekusar card. Skyscribing, each player draws X card, that's another Nekusar card. Starstorm, X card with for creature control. Again, Jeleva can't use this card. So that's another Nekusar card. All the X cards do not belong with Jeleva. Now, Baleful Force, I liked. And I would put it as an either card. But in all honesty, it just costs too much for what it does. I don't... it was nice to have the additional card draw. I don't know. I'd say either, I guess. It could be either. I mean, the card draw was nice, and it's a big beater, but it doesn't have evasion or anything like that. Decree of Pain can honestly go into either of them right now. It's a big Jeleva card, really. I'll be honest. Yeah, let's put it in Jeleva. Because it's 8 mana, and, Nekusar is going to be spending mana on other stuff. Army of the Damned is a huge sorcery. That's obviously a Jeleva card. Thraxamundar. Just too expensive, I guess it could go into either. But really, Jeleva is focusing on sorceries and instants. And both of these guys are just iffy. I mean, they're good cards, but they just don't really, move either of these strategies forward in any way. Price of Knowledge, obviously a Nekusar card. Thysis is a very expensive sorcery. That's a Jeleva card. Cruel Ultimatum, another expensive sorcery. Uyo likes to double your instants and sorceries, so that's a Jeleva card. Charmbreaker Devils. This guy actually works well in either deck, because you're going to be casting fat sorceries and instants, and you're going to be casting a lot of sorceries and instants with Nekusar. That's probably why they put them both in the same deck. I mean, the deck is really kind of sorcery and instant heavy, so Charmbreaker works well with both. Opportunity, both of you guys are going to enjoy that. Mnemonic Well likes instants and sorceries, so both of the decks would like that. Hooded Horror is poop. It's awful. Get rid of it. It's got cool art, but it's not good at all. Diviner Spirit. If it's worth putting in a deck, it's worth putting in the Nekusar deck. But honestly, it's not. It's just not good. It's not. I would get rid of it. Arcane Melee. It could go into both again because both decks enjoy instants and sorceries. Annihilate is it's way too limited. It doesn't do enough in terms of the destruction. Incendiary Command is really in there to make people wheel, and that's more of a Nekusar card than a Jeleva card. Fissure Vents, actually the deck needed the removal, but there is better removal out there. It's really a sorcery for Jeleva to use, but yeah, like I said, there's better removal out there. Mirari likes to copy those sorceries and instants that Jeleva sneaks out. Terror Ravager, poop, get rid of it, awful. Spiteful Visions, obviously a Nekusar card. Wild Ricochet, okay. Here's my problem with Wild Ricochet. I would put it in Nekusar, and here's why. Jeleva doesn't want instants that you need to react to. Because what will end up happening is you'll cast Jeleva, you'll get Wild Ricochet out there, and you won't be able to use it when you attack with Jeleva. So Jeleva really wants, on top of having haste, wants you to avoid the reactive instance. So just like Illusionist Gambit, that's a Nekusar card. Actually, I enjoyed the crap out of this card, Illusionist Gambit, but it just, again, it's real tough to use when you have it tucked under Jeleva. So I enjoyed it, because Nekusar gets attacked a lot, and forcing people to attack elsewhere is really fun with the Gambit. Dismiss, again, a reactive instant. That's a Nekusar card. Tempt with Reflections, not good. It never, nobody gives a shit if you copy your Terror Ravager twice or whatever. If you have Baleful Force or Thraxamundar out there, well, not Thrax obviously because you legend roll, but maybe, but Tempt with Reflections just didn't work very well. Viceling, obviously a Nekusar card. Eye of Doom, I never drew it. Or maybe I drew it and never used it? I'm not sure. I really don't know. I mean, I'm not real high on it. It's too situational. If you're ahead of the game and you play this, everybody's going to pick your crap. If there's somebody else that's ahead of the game, everybody's going to pick their crap. I'd rather have a card that's just good in general. I don't know. I mean, it's good because it can pick out an enchantment and get rid of it. And this color combo has a difficult time with enchantments. So, I don't know. I guess I'd put it in either. It's iffy. Obelisk of Grixis is mana help that helps. Each player draws a card. That's obviously Nekusar. Infest, creature control. I didn't like Infest. Pay the extra mana and get Damnation. Yeah, just pay the extra mana. Croesus's Charm can actually go in either. It's versatile. It works well. I liked it. Grixis Charm, same thing. Goes in either deck. Again, versatility is nice. Soul Manipulation can actually go in both. It's nice to be able to counter the spell, but even if you use it with Jeleva, you can return a creature from your graveyard to your hand. Sudden Spoiling, amazing. I love it. It's good. Even if it is a reactive one, it's just good. All the curses are poop. Get rid of them. Propaganda is a card that both decks desperately needed. Both decks need No Mercy and Propaganda like you wouldn't believe, because people are just going to target the crap out of you. Echo Mage likes Jeleva, honestly. Guard Gamazoa, again, both guys need this defense. Gutter Snipe, I was not impressed with. Obviously, it's a Jeleva spell. I guess if you were really instant and sorcery heavy, Gutter Snipe might work. But he didn't do enough for me. The Archivist is a Nekusar card. Vampire Nighthawk is just good defense. Both decks could use it. Wayfarer's Bauble, Soul Ring, and Armillary Sphere are all good mana help for both decks. Baleful Strix is a nice defender for both decks. Swiftfoot Boots. Okay, I would say both decks, but really Jeleva really needs this. Jeleva needs haste outlets. Jeleva needs Anger in the Graveyard. It needs Lightning Greaves. It needs just anything that can give it haste. It needs Hall of the Bandit Lord. Because what happens is, when you cast Jeleva, you don't want to give everybody a turn to react and try and blow her up. You want her to be able to get that fat spell and cast it right away. And then on top of that, if you whiff, and I did have at least 2 times where I completely whiffed in 4-player games where there was everybody playing, and I just didn't hit a single instant or sorcery. You want to be able to sacrifice Jeleva so you can recast her. So that means adding stuff like Mirror in the Moaning Well, or High Market, or like even freaking Phyrexian Plague Lord. Anything that you can use to sacrifice Jeleva, because you don't want to have her sit out there and do nothing. A 1/3 flyer doesn't do crap by itself. It does nothing. As you can tell, I was really frustrated. Alright, Strategic Planning. It's not bad, actually. I'd put it in both decks. Vision Skeins is really a Nekusar card. Augur of Bolus is probably more Jeleva, but I guess I'd throw it in both. Fogbank, both decks need the defender. Nightscape Familiar, not bad, being able to reduce your stuff. I never drew Nivik's Guildmage, and I would really say that if anything, it was a Jeleva card. Because with the Guildmage and the Mirari, basically you want both of these cards out when you attack with Jeleva so that you can copy whatever you have with Jeleva and go from there. So let's just talk about Jeleva. I already talked about how she needs a haste, and on top of that she needs a sacrifice outlet. What she also needs are some bigger instants and sorceries. Army of the Damned is great. Decree of Pain is great. She needs Damnation. She needs extra turn spells. She needs stuff that just like kicks the crap out of people. You know, she needs stuff that can like really hurt. And unfortunately, other than Cruel Ultimatum, which can hurt people, and Decree of Pain and Army of the Damned, a lot of this stuff doesn't really hurt anybody. So you know, if you take a look at, like, I'm just gonna go to my collection here. And I'm going to look for... Admittedly, not everybody's going to be able to, like, afford every mythic instant and sorcery. But let's just look at the red, blue, and black ones. These guys are X spells. They're not good for Jeleva. Enter the Infinite. You can draw your entire library if you want. Army of the Damned, obviously good. It's already in the deck. Temporal Mastery, good. Bonfire of the Damned, not good. All is Dust, sometimes good. Time Reversal, you know, nice being able to get a brand new hand of cards. Rise of the Dark Realms, that's a good one. Army of the Damned. Tinker, well, no. No. But, you know, you see what I'm talking about. Like, you want, like, big, fat instants and sorceries. And, why aren't any of the instants coming up? Like, even Ancestral Vision and stuff like that. Like, you know, Sever the Bloodline, Blasphemous Act. Like all these are, like, semi-decent. Increasing Ambition, like Tutors and stuff like that. Banefire, no. But those are the kind of cards you want. Impact cards. You want cards like you can even do Warp World. Who gives a damn? Like, just do goofy stuff. But these are all Insurrection. No, I don't think Insurrection works. Blatant Thievery works. You know, those are the kind of cards you need in the Jeleva deck. You do need defense. So Propaganda, No Mercy, and stuff like that are going to help you. And because you're going to be playing big fat spells, occasionally you're going to have to play them out of your hand. You're going to need more mana help. And you're going to need signets and stuff like that. So honestly, if you keep all these cards and all these cards, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'd spend at least 3 of these on like big fat spells that you like, 3 more on ramp, and then another 3 on defense and like damnation type spells. And then all this crap. What am I talking about? Yeah, take all this stuff out, because none of this stuff belongs to Jeleva. Yeah, you got a lot of room to mess around with stuff. Nekusar wants stuff like Underworld Dreams and Psychosis Crawler and like all the Howling Mine effects and everything that like makes people draw cards. You want every wheel effect you can get. Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fate, all that stuff. Reforge the Soul. And you want people to just draw tons of cards. However, Nekusar by himself costs 5 mana, so that's not cheap. So again, you're going to want to include a couple of different ramp spells and mana help. And then on top of that, you're going to want to include some more defense, because again, people are going to want to beat the crap out of you. You're going to want Windfall in the deck. These are all cards that like any cards that say like draw on them that are in Grixis colors, or all players draw, or each player draws, or something like that. I wonder if anything's going to come up. Yeah, Jace even works. Temple Bell is already in there. Temporal Cascade. Urza's Guilt. Otherworld Atlas is not very, efficient, but it'll do. Mind's Glow. Diminishing Returns. Maybe. I don't know. But like, there's a bunch. There's more out there. You could do whenever a player draws. Let's see real quick here. Phyrexian Tyranny, Spiteful Visions, whenever an opponent... Underworld Dreams is in there too. Alright, so anyways, yeah, you could go hardcore. I mean, making the decks isn't hard. Surviving while you're playing out there is the tough part. The occasional counterspell doesn't hurt either for Nekusar. So really, like I said, if you pick up this deck, you're going to want to make one or the other. You're not going to want to do both. I didn't win a single game with this deck out of the box. Or if I did, it was by accident. Like somebody ran out of time or something like that. So anyhow, that's the deck. Hope you enjoyed my overview. Sell the True Name Nemesis because it's worth more or about the same as the deck is. And you can get a decent amount of cards with that. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks.